Hello guys, I hope you're doing well, and today let's look at our analysis of SoFi. Today is Wednesday, May 6th, and I want to start this video by talking about what I think is the most important signal in the market right now for SoFi, and that is the way the stock is being digested after earnings. SoFi is trading around 16.03 right now after reporting a very strong first quarter, but still getting hit hard by market's reaction to unchanged full-year guidance. At the same time, volatility has cooled into the high teens, with the VIX around the mid to high 16s to 17, depending on the print, which is a much calmer backdrop than what we were dealing with during the peak of the earnings reaction. And I think that matters because this is not a story of SoFi's business collapsing, it's the story of the market asking for more. On April 29th, SoFi reported first quarter 2026 adjusted net revenue of $1.087 billion, up 41% year over year. GAAP net revenue was $1.1 billion, net income of $166.7 million, with diluted EPS of 0.12 and record new member growth of 1.1 million, taking total members to 14.7 million. The company also said total originations hit 12.2 billion. Adjusted EBITDA reached 339.9 million, and this was the company's 18th conservative quarter exceeding the rule of 40. Management also kept its full year 2026 outlook intact at about 4.655 billion of adjusted net revenue and about 0.60 of adjusted EPS. Now, the reason the stock sold off anyway is because investors wanted an even bigger surprise. The market reaction was negative, even though the quarter was strong, with the coverage pointing to the fact that SoFi did not raise full-year guidance and that broader fintech weakness and a short seller report added pressure on sentiment. So this is where I think you have to separate the business from the tape. The business just posted record metrics. The tape said good but not enough for a higher multiple today. That is why I think the setup now is all about whether the stock can stabilize and build a base after the post-earnings washout. And when I look at the institutional picture, I do not see the kind of abandonment that would usually make me worry the long-term thesis is broken. Fintel shows 988 institutional owners holding about 719.8 million shares, with names like Vanguard, BlackRock, JP Morgan Chase, Jane Street, DE Shaw, Citadel, UBS, and State Street still present in the base. That does not mean every institution is bullish in the short term, but it does tell me this is still a very heavily watched name with real institutional sponsorship. And I also think it matters that SoFi CEO Anthony Noto bought 56,000 shares on March 2nd, 2026 for about $1 million at an average price of around $17.88. That is not a guarantee of anything, but it is a meaningful signal because it shows management was willing to commit personal capital near the same zone where the stock is now trying to find footing. Now let me walk you through how I am thinking about this week. Today, Wednesday, is really about whether the stock can stop behaving like a post-earnings rejection trade and start behaving like a base building trade. My view is that the immediate line in the sand is the area around $16 because that is where the stock is sitting now. And if it can hold that zone and reclaim the upper 16s and the 17 area, that tells me buyers are finally stepping in after the sell-off. If it loses that level cleanly, then I think the next phase is probably more consolidation before the market gives it another chance. That is not me saying the story is broken. It is me saying the stock needs time to digest the quarter. The bigger picture still looks interesting, though, because SoFi is continuing to diversify. the business in a way that the market has not fully rewarded yet. In the quarter, the company said it began minting SoFi USD, its US dollar reserved stablecoin, and it continued building settlement and interoperability capabilities with partners like MasterCard. It also launched the big business banking, pushed deeper into brokerage and investing, and kept growing its fee-based revenue streams. That matters because the more SoFi looks like a full-stack financial platform instead of just a lending story, the more room there is for the market to eventually re-rate it. For the rest of the week, what I'm watching is very simple. First, does the stock hold the post-earnings base instead of making a new leg down? Second, does the market start to reward the fact that SoFi is still growing revenue, members, deposit, and profitability at a very strong pace? And third, do we get any analyst behavior that changes the tone from show me to this is getting too cheap? Right now, Wall Street is still cautious, with market bits showing a hold consensus and an average price target of 22.72, which is well above the current price, but still tells you analysts are not treating this like a broken company. Now let me get into the option strategies, because I know this is what a lot of you have been asking, or that ask yourself about, and I want to say that these are educational strategies and you need to do more research. Now, with implied volatility still elevated after earnings, I still think selling premium makes more sense than chasing calls, because when a stock gets hit hard after a strong report, the options market usually stays expensive for a while. This is exactly when the seller tends to have the advantage. So the first strategy is the conservative one. If you have a smaller account, you actually want to own the stock, I would rather see you use cash secured puts below the current market price than buy short-dated calls into uncertainty. The idea is simple. You are saying, I'm willing to buy SoFi at a lower level, but I want to get paid while I wait. If the stock stays above your strike, you keep the premium. If it falls below the strike, you are assigned shares at an effective cost basis that is lower than the strike because of the premium you collected. That is a cleaner setup than paying for upside with expensive option premium when volatility is still elevated. The second strategy is for a mid-sized account, and that is to stagger strikes. Instead of betting everything on one entry point, you can sell some puts at a more conservative strike and some at a closer strike. That way, if the stock stabilizes, you collect more premium. If it weakens further, you scale into ownership in a controlled way instead of forcing a single all or nothing decision. That is the kind of structure I like when the market is still uncertain, but the business underneath is still growing fast. And that is really where I stand overall. SoFi is not in a perfect environment, and the market is definitely demanding proof after earnings, but the company just reported a very strong quarter, kept full-year guidance intact, continued adding members and deposits, maintained profitability, and remains a heavily owned institutional name. The stock is now being priced with much more caution than the underlying growth story would suggest, and that is exactly why this name is still interesting here. My conviction for the next term is conservative but not aggressive. I want to see the stock prove that it can build a base after this earnings reaction. Watch the 16 area carefully today and watch whether buyers defend the post-earnings low, and watch whether the market starts to treat this like a growth platform again instead of just a volatile fintech headline. And meanwhile, I think you've gained something out of this. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please remember God and keep Him first in your life. See you next.